At least 20 were killed after Israeli airstrikes in the southern and central Gaza Strip, a day after one of the single deadliest strikes in the year-old war.
Russia has begun major nuclear weapons exercises in what it says is preparation for a nuclear strike by the enemy.
More than 60 people have died following severe flash floods in the Spanish region of Valencia.
At least 20 people were killed by airstrikes after Israel pummeled the Gaza Strip with new bombardments, Palestinian medics report. One strike on a house in the Gazan city of Khan Yunis killed at least 4 people, including 2 women and a child, according to a local hospital. Another strike reportedly hit a tent housing displaced people in the central city of Deir al-Balah. That strike killed at least 3 people, including a woman. Israel has carried out several strikes on locations housing displaced people in recent months, saying it precisely targets militants hiding out among civilians. However, these strikes often kill women and children. The death toll for more than a year of the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza has now passed 43,000 people, Palestinian officials said on Monday. In Israel, hospital officials said a rocket fired from Lebanon wounded 2 men, one seriously. The men were wounded by rocket shrapnel in an Israeli town just across from the Lebanese border. Hezbollah fired thousands of rockets into Israel since October the 8th, 2023, when it opened fire in solidarity with Hamas a day after its cross-border attack from the Gaza Strip. Israeli ground forces invaded southern Lebanon at the beginning of October.
Russia has begun major nuclear weapons exercises, which its defense ministry describes as preparation for a potential nuclear strike by the enemy. The drills included the test fires of intercontinental ballistic missiles from the Kamchatka Peninsula and 2 nuclear submarines, as well as practice launches of long-range cruise missiles from nuclear-capable strategic bombers. The Defense Ministry said that all the missiles reached their designated targets. It comes after weeks of Russian signals that Moscow will respond if the West allows Ukraine to use Western-supplied longer-range weapons to strike deep inside Russia. On his visit to Beijing, the president of Finland called on China to assist in de-escalating Russian nuclear activity.
The final and 5th point I made is that it is very difficult to trust President Putin, especially when it comes to nuclear weapons. And that's why it's extremely important that a major power such as China keeps on having dialogue with Russia and make sure that we can de-escalate as much as possible.
It follows US reports that North Korea has sent 10,000 troops to Russia, where they are believed to be headed for the Kursk border region.
More than 60 people have died following severe flash floods in the Spanish region of Valencia, authorities confirmed. Rainstorms on Tuesday in eastern and southern Spain caused the floods that swept away cars, turned streets into rivers, and disrupted rail lines. A high-speed train with nearly 300 people on board derailed near Malaga, although authorities said no one was hurt. Rescue teams worked into the night to evacuate residents and search for missing people, using helicopters to lift people from their homes. Over 1,000 soldiers from Spain's emergency response units were deployed to the devastated areas, and Spain's central government set up a crisis committee to help coordinate rescue efforts. Storms are forecast to continue through Thursday, according to Spain's National Weather Service.
Presidential candidate Kamala Harris has urged voters to turn the page and start writing the next chapter in her closing campaign speech in Washington, D.C. Delivering her message from the same site where Donald Trump spoke shortly before the 2021 Capitol riot, Harris vowed to put the country above party and above self.
I pledge to seek common ground and common sense solutions to make your life better. I am not looking to score political points. I am looking to make progress. I pledge to listen to experts, to those who will be impacted by the decisions I make, and to people who disagree with me. Unlike Donald Trump, I don't believe people who disagree with me are the enemy. He wants to put them in jail. I'll give them a seat at the table.
Harris went on to list key policy goals, including expanding Medicare coverage of home health care, boosting the supply of housing in the country, and working to restore nationwide access to abortion. Meanwhile, a statement released by the Trump campaign accused the vice president of resorting to lying and name-calling in her speech. It comes after Trump called his closing rally at Madison Square Garden a love fest, despite featuring a number of crude remarks by various speakers.
China filed a lawsuit against the European Union before the World Trade Organization over the steep tariffs the bloc has slapped on its electric vehicles. Brussels argues the electric vehicles benefit from excessive subsidies to retail at artificially low prices in global markets. The new duties come on top of an existing 10% levy and are being collected as of Wednesday, the 30th of October.
并加征高额关税是典型的贸易保护主义行为，将损害中欧的产业链、供应链合作，损害欧洲消费者的利益，损害欧盟绿色转型和全球应对气候变化的努力。
Designed by the European Commission to offset Beijing's financial aid and prevent EU firms from being pushed out of the lucrative electric vehicle sector, the trade measures will remain in place for 5 years.
我们希望欧方以建设性的态度与中方继续推进磋商，展现诚意和灵活性，寻求解决方案，避免贸易摩擦扩大升级。
China has previously threatened retaliation against the EU's dairy, brandy and pork industries, moves that Brussels has denied as unwarranted. The ministry stressed its willingness to continue negotiations with the Commission to achieve a solution as soon as possible that could reverse the tariffs.
Volkswagen said significant cost cuts are urgently needed as the company reported a steep decline in third quarter earnings on Wednesday. Meanwhile, the car manufacturer faces angry employee representatives due to the possibility of plant closures in Germany.
Die Lage spitzt sich weiter zu. Die Entwicklung in der Automobilindustrie in Europa und besonders am Standort Deutschland betrachten wir mit Sorge. Das zeigen auch die jüngsten Meldungen unserer Wettbewerber. Das machen aber auch die rückläufigen Quartalsergebnisse der Marke Volkswagen Pkw deutlich.
The company reported net profit of 1.58 billion euros for the July-September period, which is a 64% decline from 4.35 billion euros a year earlier.
Wir werden heute der IG Metall in der zweiten Verhandlungsrunde unsere Vorstellungen unterbreiten. Wir brauchen jetzt gemeinsames und konsequentes Handeln, um eine tragfähige und nachhaltige Lösung zu finden, und zwar im Sinne unserer Belegschaft und unseres Unternehmens.
Volkswagen already terminated its job protection pledge that was in force since 1994. As new competitors entering European markets and the fundamental technologies of automobile industry are rapidly changing, Germany's position as a manufacturing location is deteriorating. European brands are facing increased competition, especially from inexpensive Chinese electric cars.
It's the first time these precious works of art are showcased to the public in France. 4 extremely rare icons from Ukraine are currently on display at the Louvre-Lens Museum, 200 kilometers north of Paris. They include a 15th century depiction of the Virgin and Child, a 16th century icon of Saint John the Baptist, and 2 unusually large icons representing the Last Judgment and the Hymn to the Virgin by Greek Renaissance painter Theodoros Poulakis. Preserving these masterpieces is no easy feat.
L'idée, c'était de leur offrir les meilleures conditions de conservation possibles, parce qu'en Ukraine, dans les circonstances actuelles, cela a été compromis. Ce sont des œuvres fragiles qui sont peintes sur bois, elles sont peintes à la tempéra, elles nécessitent donc une température stable, elles nécessitent aussi des conditions de sécurité, peu de manipulation. Donc évidemment, les réserves du Louvre offrent toutes ces conditions particulières.
In May 2023, 16 icons were secretly evacuated from the Hanenko Museum in Kyiv to protect them from Russian strikes, a highly sensitive and perilous operation conducted by the Louvre Museum.
Évidemment, c'est une opération qui est complexe à mener puisque les conditions, un pays sous loi martiale, des conditions de sécurité, des conditions aussi de discrétion qui sont indispensables, nous ont demandé d'inventer des manières de travailler qui sont un peu différentes de celles auxquelles nous sommes habitués. Les icônes ont quitté l'Ukraine secrètement par voie terrestre. Elles ont été accompagnées par tout le dispositif de sécurité nécessaire. Elles ont traversé la frontière et à travers la Pologne puis l'Allemagne, elles sont arrivées jusqu'à Paris pour pouvoir être abritées dans nos réserves.
The icons will remain in France until the end of the war. The exhibition is open to the general public until June 2025.